Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to EU Online Major. Toby here, joined once again with Fru. Alex, we've had many casts online, but this is the first one we've done for a major, isn't it? It's just so exciting for me. How about you?
Oh, it's great, Toby. As you said, loads of kind of amateur scene tournaments, but nothing at this scale. Nothing, with so much money on the line. Nothing with so many good teams involved.
Absolutely. The best in Europe all come together in one big tournament online. And here we are, we're casting it. Alex, this is my first major in a long time. I have literally just been like excited from the get-go this morning and looking forward to the week. But I guess you watched the first match, right, Alex? Very unpredictable result. And I think we've had unpredictable results across the board, right, haven't we?
Yeah, I mean, 3X just proving us wrong completely, right? I mean, they came out the gates on fire, looking like they were ready to win this thing. And, that's the kind of energy that we wanted from all of those kind of challenger teams coming into that first round. I mean, we expected a close game, and we definitely didn't get that. We had an absolute stomp, a 5-0 in the second map, 3 times Rowdy here to play. And honestly, Team Sick, they underperformed, in my opinion. I don't think that's the Team Sick that we've seen before. So I think, 3X, they look good. Team Sick, they're going to have to do a hell of a losers bracket run if they want to come back into this.
Yeah, I think it was mistakes across the board there for Team Sick, and I think it's safe to say they didn't show up as we predicted, individually or as a team. But yeah, curious to see if they can pull things back though. Team Sick, of course, in the losers bracket now. They'll be trying to claw their way back through the bracket. But of course, the game we have up next is Academy versus Obey. And I really wanted to get your thoughts on their first result. Academy, to get to this point, they beat Team Steady 2-0. We would have predicted, I think, Alex, tell me if I'm wrong in this one, but we would have predicted for potentially for it to be the other way around. It would be Academy that would get 2-0'd by Team Steady, right?
Yeah, I think it's one of those games that, for me, we call that Team Steady in that opening segment as one of, the better challenger teams, but that's because they've been showing up recently. They're kind of an underdog team that are, going above their station, essentially. For me, Academy have been one of those challenger teams that have been very, very consistent throughout the whole of this quarter. If you look at the online tournament results, they've won 2 of them. Out of the 4, they've won 2 of them. Yep. And the 2 that they've lost, actually, they lost both times to 3X Rowdy, and they lost 2-1 both times. So that's the kind of caliber that you're seeing right now. They're a tournament-winning team. They've had experience getting to those finals, working their way through, winning tournaments. And they've had a lot of good opposition along the way as well, Toby. So I'm not surprised to see Academy here. I'll not put it that way. I think that this game was probably one of the closer ones. Assuming that 3X Rowdy and Team 6 should have been a close one as well.
Yeah.
However, yeah, I think I probably would have given it Steady given the recent performance at least. But no surprises. Realistically, Academy, fantastic team, and they're going to give Obey a hell of a game. That I will tell you.
Yeah, I'd love to check out the bracket a little bit more in the future. But in terms of this matchup, Alex, I guess it's very important to look at the important picks and bans. Academy reunited, of course, versus Obey Alliance. First of all, we have Academy banning out Vazgar, a ban coming through on training grounds for Obey Alliance. We typically see that from them. But we actually see Icebound and District come on through. Those are the 2 picks from either side. Bunker, Exhibit also being banned out, and Asylum if we need it for map 3. I mean, first thoughts, Alex. What jumps out at you?
I mean, first thoughts is that, we don't have that much information on Academy, but we do on Obey Alliance. So we can definitely talk about it from, their perspective. I can understand the Vazgar ban from Academy there, because that's something that we've seen Obey Alliance pick many times before. Sometimes as that first map, sometimes as that decider, but they do pick it quite often. So I can understand that ban. The training grounds ban, Obey have not looked good on training grounds for a while, so fair play, get rid of it. And Icebound is a staple for Obey. They pretty much always pick it in that first group when it's available, so I can see why they've gone that way. And District, we've actually seen Obey be a little bit shaky on that, so I don't think that's a bad pick for Academy either. Right up to the end, you've got Academy. Yep, it's good for Obey. I can see why they've banned Exhibit. They've not been a good Exhibit team throughout the Pro League. I mean, they've not been fantastic on any map throughout the Pro League, but in terms of the maps themselves, Asylum has been one of those maps that they've had the better results on. They've, taken Elevate to around 9 on it in the past, and I think as the third map for both teams, it kind of makes sense. I don't think either team will be, too disheartened with seeing Asylum at the back.
Yeah, I think I agree wholeheartedly with that. I think Most of all, I agree with Obey's decision-making process here. I think they've just gone with the textbook, let's ban our weakest maps and pick our most favorite maps, right? And I'm glad in particular that Exhibit is gone because I casted over that one in the Pro League versus Rated R, and they did have some moments of greatness, but also they look quite shaky at times. And I don't think it really favors their playstyle. And I'm curious actually to see the result of District when we get to map number 2. I think it's a very smart from Academy that because District can go either way at times.
Yep.
It's a very rotation heavy map, and setups can also be very decisive. Despite District size of the map, setups can be quite strong right on that one. And so I'm curious to see if Academy can win initial here or there. They can really take it to whether they can take it to Obey on that one.
Yeah, and we'll talk about Icebound in a minute, but keeping on with the district side of things, Toby, I honestly believe as well, we've seen upsets happen. Obey were up against Regal Reserve on that map last quarter. They were 4-2 up, I believe it was, and Regal just came all the way back, flying back, and they managed to pull it out and win in that round 9. So we've seen Obey, flutter a little bit on that map and have some kind of bad times on it. So yeah, why not go to District? Why not try and force a map that Obey in the past has struggled on a little bit? But in terms of Icebound, for Obey Alliance, that for me is a very strong pick. And if they can get the rounds rolling essentially in that first map, I think Icebound actually might be quite a quick one for Obey. They have looked very good on it, and it has been one of their better maps. So that's for me at least the key, right? Is Obey. They've got to start strong. They've got to get into that trading post. They've got to get TJ into there, and they've got to make sure that they're not giving Academy the time, to kind of set up around them, to lance them down. But we'll get into it in a second.
All right, well, I think it's safe to say that you predicted Icebound going the way of Obey. Of course, it's their map pick, folks, as we get into the first half. I'm curious, actually, Alex, to see if Obey can come out swinging here. It's their first game of the day, and they're against a side known as Academy Reunited, which, of course, has caused a bit of an upset here against Team Steady in their last round. Their first match of the day went 2-0. Let's see if they can have as much success against Obey. TJ, starting off with him. Clear contrast in the opening strategy here, though, Alex, as Academy, they haven't even challenged for that trading post area.
No, not at all, and I think that's that's rightly done. So Obey, they always look so good in there. So why not flip the map? Why not try and play the ice field and maybe leave Obey to go and take that trading post free for now. First round, throw Obey off the plan. Why not? Let's see what happens. Bruisem gets that first headshot.
Saki trying to go for that pinball bounce between the two covers and a revive chain, but Ashens will be a casualty in that scenario as he's taken down by Political and Raptix. They're going for the push now using that right hand. Bruisem, nice kill on J-Rage, a very simple retake. And in fact, Alex, Academy are winning up top as well.
Yep, yeah, I mean, they've got a team that can slay out here. Slaps has been one of those teams that we've watched before and has been so good. And the domination for Academy potentially ticking in here. If this is, Obey's opening round, this is definitely not what you want, is it? Academy, that challenger team coming in, upsetting the Pro League teams in round 1 here, Toby.
It's a shaky start, it's safe to say. You just look at the stats. They had 1 kill, and that was TJ. Did Obey. And they had some captures, but they didn't last long, did they? I mean, just simply to microscope on that B situation, it was clearly an Obey's attempted take. They were able to capture it, but they lost a player very quickly. The player wasn't even near enough to get a revive chain going. And so, maybe some criticisms there. But placement-wise, it's simple from Academy throwing smokes down bottom, but a drop shot immediately up top. I wonder now if Academy are going to send a lot more numbers up top. I'm banking on the fact they will. Question is, though, how aggressive will they be there?
I mean, they've got to be aggressive, but they can't give Obey too much time here to pick up this drop shot. This is obviously a set play. If they're going to go there on round 2, Toby, you got to think that they've got something prepared here. And you can see actually the down coming on Bruisem straight away. They're going to be able to clean that one up, and they will get the B hill for this. So leaving the drop shot for just a second, they make a play down that B hill, and they're still in a good spot here to take this drop shot fight. Expect smokes, expect a push, coming out as well. You can see they're just trying to bait the reloads out here, and the moment the reloads come through, Reptix goes down. You can see now, drop shot gets picked up, Chid falls as well, but it's still a scrap here as Slaps gets one for his own. Political trying to get another one as he does steam train in, but it looks to be the domination here. Obey, they have completely outplayed Academy on that one. And that's much more like a Pro League performance, Toby. Much more like it.
Absolutely. And of course, Saki won that 1v down bottom on that B hill. Both teams really stacked 4 players up at the trading post area. But again, Academy, they played for the retake. They played for the Lancer downs. They were hoping that Obey would make a mistake. They'd pick up a down and then go off that numbers advantage. But it never did come through, did it? Obey had a simple take of the trading post, able to angle out and help that all-important B fight. And then, of course, simple takes of the drop shot, revive chains, and kills left, right, and center. Very good job from Obey, and I'm liking this drop shot placement thus far. But again, Academy, are they going to change things up now? They've got shotguns out. I think they're ready to get up close and personal with the Obey players. Let's see how this one plays out. Slapped full red, trapping a player. A little bit of a collision there. Chidwick finally does come with the revive chain. He gets some kills, but they're late into the fight.
That's
and J-Rage and TJ picking up kills left, right, and center. As in fact, it's TJ with double. Bruisem already getting pushed now. This is good from Obey Alliance.
Hey, TJ is home, Toby. He's back where he belongs. In that trading post, picking up double kills, making plays for Obey Alliance, and in the end, forcing the other team back to that respawn queue. TJ has looked so good there before. It's been a while since we've seen a good performance from Obey in general. That was much more like it. And if you're TJ, if you're Obey Alliance, keep it up. Keep it up, because you look much better when you're back on home turf.
Absolutely. I think TJ hasn't had as much of the limelight since J-Rage and Ashens have joined the squad due to this, some amazing performances from them in matches. But honestly, TJ has been a very core component of Obey, right? He's usually that first man in. He gets those shotgun kills oftentimes. You can really rely on him as a 1v1 player, if nothing else. He's sitting on 6 kills as it stands right now. And I guess you got to hope that he continues on. He's the first spawn for Obey Alliance, and let's follow him in actually into the trading post area. He's the first one in each time, trading shots with Slaps full red. He will get taken down now though. Slaps does pick up another kill here in trading, as Bruisem and Political all pick up kills. This is better from Academy, as they once again choose to be aggressive through that trading post area.
Yeah, very, very good. And they get that drop shot as well for their reward, Toby, so that's even better for them. I think that time around the flash placement really was much better from Academy. They stunned out TJ, not able to get that opening frag, and just in the end, you know, it's 1, then it's 2, then it's 3, right? They lose members. You see Obey do this in the Pro League. They're not very good when they're on the back foot. They don't tend to kind of clutch up unless it is, a miracle situation. In the end, though, Academy not giving them that time, and they won't give them that time. Academy, they're a strong team across the board. You look at that roster on that left-hand side. There isn't a player there that I think, you know what, this is the weak link in that roster. They're all so good. Bruisem has that Pro League experience. He's ex-Anoni. And Chidwick, one of the best players in the whole of Europe. He's been up there, top 4. Had lots of LAN experience under his belt. He knows what he's doing. Slaps,
Yeah.
Reptix, and Political, perhaps a little bit less experience, but honestly, their technical skill, that will take them through it. And they'll be able to match some of the players on Obey here, if not all of them.
Yeah, I mean, we've had the pleasure, Alex, us in particular, of casting over some of these players in recent online tournaments, and they've just been so impressive. They're definitely rising stars in Europe, are some of these players in Academy. But in terms of the game scenario as it stands, just over a minute, or just under a minute, rather, if things do stay this way. But the cap, of course, is going to be held still by Academy. Obey trying to push in down bottom. Political holds the right hand, shuts down J-Rage, and it's essentially a 2v1, maybe a 3v1 in fact. Ashens does get the down, but so red, he probably won't know. He will not be able to escape, in fact, as they do continue their pursuit with no one in support.
Oh, Breaker, you tricky little git. Just waiting around the corner, wasn't he, for Slaps to turn him. And, that's something that a Pro League team, they'll not let that happen. Elevate, Rated Regal, they won't let Breaker just sit on that corner and pick up a kill for free. They'll be checking that backside of the ice field there, and they'll make sure that there's no one trying to catch him off guard. But Academy, they're still learning. They've still got time, and they'll not do that again. That's for sure. Slaps will be probably a little bit angry about that. And now Cog Team, though, they're looking to lock this one in just a few seconds. I don't think Obey really have time to do anything about it. And Bruisem shutting down Ashens will pretty much seal the deal here. The Sea Hill, fully defensible, fully defensed as well. 245. will be on the clock, and Academy will be locking in their second round here, Toby. And it's a close one, much closer than that first series, that's for sure.
Yeah, exactly. I like this though from Academy. You know, they won the initial for that drop shot. They rotated that weapon down bottom to protect the B hill. And they actually allowed trading post control to go back the way of Obey. They're very respectful, clearly, of this Pro League team. But the question is, as we go into the second half, weapon placements won't be mirrored. In fact, it's going to be an M-bar placement from Obey, and TJ is the man to place that one. I mean, clearly Obey are taking a very proactive approach to the weapon placements system and escalation, Alex, and I like that. You know, me and you both as casters always talk about teams trying to take advantage of the weapon placements and play something a bit off meta and a bit more unique to try and catch off their opponents off guard, and right now Obey are trying to do just that.
Yeah, and they've stacked everything on that southern side, right, towards that E-hill. You've got that M-bar up there, you've got that drop shot up there, and this is obviously a very, you know, strong game plan for Obey. They knew where they were going to start building weapons up. They knew where their focus would be, and it would be up at this trading post area. And I think that's right for them. I think they've had their best success up here. So I like what I'm seeing from Obey in that regards. Question is here is, you know, how do they use that M-bar to pick off kills? Because what they've done on this round specifically is they backed off a little bit. They let Academy take trading post, and they tried to find that down with the Lancer. Now, had they picked up that down with the Lancer, they'd have been able to, you know, finish it off with that M-bar pretty easily. Maybe even get a collateral kill there. But because they didn't find that down on the opener, the M-bar doesn't have much, you know, room to move to find kills, because this huge structure in front of them, the trading post, is blocking any sight lines. For Obey now, you've got to start to force something out here. Whether that is a push on this trading post, whether that's a push around bottom side, trying to go for the home hills. We'll see. But for me, I think it's about this E-hill, because if you push down the trading post side, sorry, the ice field side, you're going to be met by the Lancer fire of those Academy members in that trading post.
Yeah, I agree with that proposition there, Alex. I mean, in terms of that M-bar, it does enable you to really keep heads down and keep that just like a sniper, but less, not as effective, if you will. You can kind of like aim that M-bar at the window from down bottom. You can aim across the ice field, if you will, and try and keep heads down to enable a push like that to occur. And you can see where TJ is set up right now. He could go a little bit right on his side and try and angle into the trading post with that. Instead, it was Obey, or rather Academy, which uses the incend to try and get the drop shot out. Angles do have to come through. M-bar's not going to be fired in this scenario.
Why though?
Yes. I mean, why is TJ still pissed? I think they might have been caught off guard there. TJ's trying to be a bit proactive in this scenario. He's flown across the map, across the pipe, using the blizzard as cover. Still has M-bar on his back, mind you. So I do want him to be careful, Alex.
I find it very strange that TJ is the one picking this up as well for Obey.
Yes, exactly.
I'm not quite fully on board with what Obey are trying to do here. Because, you know, TJ, he's your first man into that trading post, right? So he's the one that's, you know, finding those frags, finding those opening kills in that trading post, and being the nuisance, essentially, drawing attention. When he picks up that M-bar, you lose full agency on that mid control, and especially there at the end. Yes, he got made a play on, the incends went his way, and, you know, he had to be forced back a little bit and heal back up, but hear that, you know, that M-bar in the background going off there. You know, he had to back off, but why is he the first one pushing down there in the first place if they're just trying to get an angle? Very, very strange. And we've gone all this way, and, you know, we're just 10 seconds away from winning here for Academy. And that's, you know, that's how long it took really for Obey to work out that puzzle, or in the end actually failed to work out that puzzle. As Academy, they set up, they found that drop shot, they were the proactive team, and they come away with the round, and rightly so.
Absolutely. I love the contrast between the two teams as to what their strat is going into this trading post fight. It does seem to me like just playing for map control and getting control of trading post immediately is the way to go, especially when there's a drop shot pickup available, as you can much more easily go for the quick pick and the revive chain. With the M-bar in hand, again, I'm curious as to see if Obey do continue this, you know, retake or Lancer down strategy. I'm wondering if TJ actually ran out of ammo there for the M-bar, if he fired some shots off screen that we might have missed. But yeah, I never heard it. I mean, game sounds a little low in my ears, but yes, exactly, after they had the retake. But here we go. TJ has actually left the M-bar for Saki now. Nice little body check through the blizzard. but TJ is in there first, and he picks up the kill on Slaps. This is much better from them, as TJ actually finds Bruisem as well, and Chidwick of that matter. Well played from him. Saki just trying to keep his distance. No deaths, I'd be screaming right now for Obey. Saki still alive. Incense thrown into the mix, and Breaker winning down bottom also. This could be a triple.
It should be a triple here, honestly. They've got a 3v1 on this airfield. You know, they clean up Slaps here very, very quickly. The rest of them coming in. They should be able to just hold them on this choke point here. There's the drop shot coming in. A double kill for Ashens, and 3-3 now the round. Swarm domination will come through in 43 seconds. And TJ, back in his natural habitat, Toby, does find that triple kill to open the round. And that's where he's the most useful. Yes, he's got those 7 deaths to his name. Yes, you know, that's the most in the game, but that's because he's the first one in. His job, draw attention, get a kill, draw more attention from the other team, and his team will clean up around him. If he gets a triple, even better.
Yep. It's certainly expected, right, to throw TJ into the trading post rather than have him on M-bar. He's the first spawn. Numbers, or speed at least, into the trading post is so important. Just as important as numbers advantage, if anything, once going into that. You have to get that first shot off, and with the skill and speed of these players, that can mean the world. Let's see. TJ going into the mix. Him and Slaps trade shots again, both stunned, but Bruisem will find J-Rage. Down at least Saki. Nice headshot from him. That could allow a retake, actually. Academy player Reptix trying to take cover here. Nice incense from Political as he comes around the corner, finding him. Ashen's trying to make something happen, but immediately lit up. Reptix, his reward for such great plays is that drop shot.
Yeah, great plays, and that incentive was fantastic, taking out their M-bar. And also, the bait there on the pickup there. They knew Ashens was around that corner. They both walked at it with their lancers out. Okay, we'll bait this drop shot pickup. In the end, they just both turn fire, and Ashens force him off. They get that drop shot for free. And that is a very, very well-coordinated play by Academy. I'm loving what I'm seeing from them so far. Obey, they have got control of this E-hill once again, though, so that's a good drop shot coming out. Will ping the head, but only finds that single one. Another bad incend coming out here from Obey Alliance. We've seen it in the Pro League. Breaker getting taken down. Just as he starts to throw that one, means he'll throw at his feet, clean himself up. And this gives Academy now, with that drop shot kill, with that self-kill, with the incendiary, time to make a play. They will find TJ in that middle. The domination starts to tick in here as well. And Saki, on his own, 1 versus 3, cannot do much about it, to be honest with you. It is going to be a good 1v1 for Breaker against Bruisem over on his home hill to stop that domination coming in, but Academy now in a very, very good spot.
Yep, now they are set up. Breaker immediately running across that ice field, looking to see if he can break up a D-hill. I think they have a 3rd member coming in the back as well, but Slaps does throw an incend, finding J-Rage. That's a big loss, actually, as they'll now have the numbers going into this fight. Will Academy. TJ does shut one down, meanwhile, though, and Ashens picks up a down on Political. TJ's so red, he needs to hold this shot potentially, as here comes Slaps over the cover. He's been having a great game, I must say. He's has a worthy adversary in the team fight, rather, excuse me, over at the trading post, but he's been having a number of crucial shots and kills. Here he is, an important shotgun fight as well. One player coming behind Obey, triple cap blinking. You'd expect Political to get there in time. In fact, his teammate does, as he finds Breaker. Score-wise, it's fairly close. I mean, Academy do need to retake E eventually, but drop shot will be up soon.
It's a good Lancer fire there as well, coming in from Slaps. Just get that down. The revive will come through, though, and Political does fall, so it's a 4v4 situation for just a few seconds, as Saki and Political will be back on their feet. Push coming forward here. Bruisem finds that kill on Breaker, and that's going to open the whole map up here. Bruisem pushing so aggressively across that home hill street. Which takes a second. Incend going to come out as well. He's found that over by that home hill of Obey Alliance, and now the push has to come through. Good play here as he's backing out. Just drawing attention towards his home hill, and that's a great shot there coming in from Bruisem as he finds Saki too. That's 2 1v1s in a row here, and he might have just turned it for his team, Toby, as that domination does start to tick. You can see the kill coming in. They're all blue, and the domination will come through in just a couple of seconds here. Obey nowhere near the races. And Academy now 1 round away, Toby, from winning this first map. 1 round away from the first upset here in the Spring Major. It's
a very unfortunate state of events there as well, because Obey, Ashens in particular, he was able to pick up that drop shot as Academy were returning from their home hill defense, but he was never able to use it. He was trying to fire it and look for picks, but he never was able to find anyone. We saw him at the end there trying to pistol away at someone who had pushed him. due to needing to reload or finding a little bit of damage and not the kill and trying to clean it up. But again, ineffective use of that power weapon there. And I think Academy had a very good hold on that home hill. Obey really committed to throwing as many numbers on to that home hill overextension, but it just didn't pay off for them, did it? Of course, Embar and Shock being disabled there, Alex. No surprise as we follow Slaps into this trading post fight. Incense being picked up for both teams. Slaps in there first, and he's not stunned this time. Neither is TJ, but TJ will fall as clearly Cog throw as many numbers as possible into that shotgun area to open those shots up. Ashens finds Brutum. Look at this flank from Slaps, though. He finds one. Is going to get taken down by Ashens, though, meanwhile. Good job from Ashens to pick up that kill and return to cover. Chidwick picking up that drop shot and that hill capture. But Ashens, he's not done just yet. He's thrown himself into Reptix. 1v1. Reptix says no. Nice left hand back A. TJ trying to throw himself in as well as Obey just want to keep up the pressure. They don't want to go for a retake, for a formulated retake, in fact. They just want to keep throwing the numbers in, and it's just not paying off for them, is it?
It really isn't. You know what, honestly, Toby? Those last two Obey Alliance members, they needed just to back off there, wait for their team to come off spawn and go as a 5 once again. You'd lost that E-Hill. There was no doubt about it. The weapon had gone. There was nothing really you were going to gain from making those pushes except maybe a 1v1 trade. At that point, you're not really gaining anything because, you know, you've already lost map control. Your team are already on the respawn, so what are you going to gain from that, you know, trading 1-for-1? Nothing at all. Back up, wait for your team, go back as a 5, and you'll be in a much better situation. You'll not find yourself losing full map control and also be down lives as well.
Oh, break again, caught out there. I think he might have been on the prior B-Hill cover and was forced to rotate, but with him getting taken down, that's staggered spawns for Obey. They want to have the full 5 members up and ready to make that all-important push at E. A difficult one at that. With Ashen's flash in hand, it looks like they're ready to go very soon. As J-Rage is trying to check out if he can see anything in this trading post. Flash is thrown in. Obey are going in on that. J-Rage is going to have to get a lot closer than that to find Political, as he's just using his Lancer at range. Ashen's never really got involved, and the Slaps drop shot comes on through as Reptix finds Ashen's. This should be an Academy round. They have such a big score lead, Alex. My only hope is that they don't throw it away by going for a very late overextension.
I mean, they shouldn't do. They've got all those kills in the world. You can see on the death side of things, TJ's completely out as well. So there's not really much Obey can do. I think they're going to lose this, Toby. I don't even think it'll come down to 33 seconds here. Obey, they're going to have to perform a miracle of a play here to keep themselves in this one. And Political in that 1v2, just find that trade out now. An Academy in 3 seconds will find the first upset of the Spring Major as they take down Obey Alliance and take that first map 5-3.
And what a result that is. Academy taking down Pro League Team Obey on Obey's pick, and a strong pick of that, Alex. We really predicted Obey to have potentially a very quick win there on Icebound to open things up, but instead, Obey actually went ahead and lost it.
Yeah, I mean, we said Obey probably going to be the only Pro League team realistically to, you know, start to get upset in these opening couple of rounds. They've proven us right, really, Toby. The other 3 Pro League teams are all up 1-0 right now, so we know that's you know, that's confirmed. So Obey losing that first map, they're not in a great situation. Academy, on the other hand, though, Toby, we've got to think about the winners here. They looked really, really good. They were playing, you know, the map very, very smartly. It wasn't their pick, as you said, and they, you know, they were playing it smartly. They were using that blizzard to their advantage as well. We saw a few times where they were making plays when the sightlines weren't so great, and just catching Obey off guard. And for me, you know, if you're Academy, that's fantastic news, and that's a really good start to your Pro League, to your major.
I mean, it's against a Pro League team, and that says it all, really, doesn't it? And on Icebound as well, the team fights did go back and forth a lot of times, but it really did seem like Academy was actually the Pro League team, and they were making the better decisions. Again, we spoke about it, we touched upon it. Obey with the more proactive weapon placements, drop shot immediately after the first round down at the trading post, and also the M-bar placement. These are things you don't typically see, right? And they've tried different things. They tried, obviously, going for those home hill overextensions a number of times, but it didn't pay off for them oftentimes, did it? Any of those different number of variables. And in fact, it was the COG team that really responded initially to Obey's strategy of going first into that trading post, then Obey tried to go for the retakes, and it just seemed like the team of Academy were doing the same strats at different points in the map, but to a lot better level. I think it's safe to say, Alex.
Yeah, I think levels is a good way to go about it. To be honest with you, for me, it was the small things. I liked the the weaponization for Obey. I thought it was a good idea. Stick the big weapon down. Have an even, well, not even bigger, but another big weapon down there supporting that fight. Yeah, fantastic. However, it was the small things that were going wrong for Obey. You saw in that last round, Slaps got into that trading post completely unstunned because the flash grade wasn't placed properly. That, in turn, leads to, a kill, a very, very easy, quick kill, full control of that mid area, a drop shot, a hill, full map control. And from there, you're in such a bad spot if you're Obey. And that's just stemming from one misplaced flashbang. That's the difference here at Tobia, to be honest with you, is Academy, they did the small things right. That meant they got the big things for free. It's as simple as that. And Obey, they put all the chickens, all their eggs in one basket, and they didn't get any chickens. And Academy, they outplayed them. To be honest with you, they really did. They strategized that play where they came out of the, onto TJ with that M bar. That was fantastic. Force him off, make a play in the blizzard. They timed it perfectly. You get a drop shot for it, and you've got full map control just like that. And it's little things like that Obey aren't doing. They didn't do it in the Pro League. They're not doing it now. And these challenger teams, they're showing them how it's supposed to be done.
Yeah, and I think we saw some mistakes as well on Obey's part, some of the overextensions. They sent a lot of numbers to it and were unsuccessful in their plays. What really stood out to me as well, which we didn't touch upon much, is Ashen's weapon pick of the drop shot. A lot of his teammates were just dying left, right, and center rather than, hey, calling out, I've got the drop shot, or we're going to get the drop shot. Let's play it passive. Let's play it safe, set up for the next set of shotgun fights rather than throw all your numbers in and hope for the best. Well, of course, this is how it went down. Icebound 5-3 going the way of Academy. Shock result there, especially on that particular map. But going into District, Alex, second map as we load up, is your predictions going to change at that point? I mean, is anything going to change for you?
I have to give it to Academy, honestly.
Yeah? Wow.
Yeah, I honestly, the only two players really that really showed up for me there was Saki on that M-bar. He hit some nice headshots, got a nice clip, and TJ, he was clutching up in the trading post. Other than that, realistically, Academy looked the better team. I have to change it. I have to go with Academy, and I think they'll take it 2-0. I really do. This is their pick. This is their ground. We'll get into it, and let's see how they do on it.
Well, District is a fairly practiced map for Obey. It might not be one of their best, but I'm personally hoping that they can pull themselves up by the bootstraps and get back into this and start off strong. Of course, Obey, they've moved over to the COG side. They've opened things up with the kill on Reptix there, and they've taken blue control as well. That's also known as info. And with this overextension over towards the Sea Hill, Obey, their opening strat of taking down the middle portion of the maps, getting control and flanking round, seems to be paying off for them.
Yeah, seems to be indeed. Having a look here. That's a good kill there coming in. TJ does fall. It's a good kill by Breaker, though, in return now. Trying to get his double kill. We'll go with that knife in the end. And we do see him go down, though, as a sneaky reptile comes from behind. Finds a double kill for his team. That's perfect. Good kill there by Saki once again, though. Still sitting 1 for 1. Did die pretty early on. Trying to make up for it now as he pulls out that pistol. Chases down now. Tries to get this B hill as his reward, but so many lancers pointed straight at this hill. Domination ticking in for just a second.
Good little recovery, though, from Obey. They lost 2 members in that push from Reptix. Of course, a concerning team fight, it's safe to say. Or concerning shotgun fight that actually went the way of Reptix. I think Breaker and Co just need to reset and be ready for such a flank. But nonetheless, as I say, Obey, they did get the capture back onto B. They're now setting up at great distance, mind you, as well. Saki and TJ, you can see, have pulled all the way back to their bench there to start angling out players. They have green control. They're lantering down as J-Rage does find one. Political will just opt to respawn there. And Saki needs to get close, actually. Stop the 1v2s coming on through. In fact, 1v1s of that as TJ does drop. Saki looking to find one. Reptix bouncing around, and he's had a very good start to his tournament this weekend. Has that player. J-Rage will come in support, but again, a very simple mistake through. It's a 1v1 going the way of Reptix, and it should have been a 2v1.
Should have been indeed. And look now, as that COG banner just starts to come through, it's not going to be domination, it will be that elimination in the end, it seems. See there, the expressions as well coming out from Obey. I think maybe win a map before you start getting cocky. But it's good to see them still, still having a bit of fun with it, right? Still kind of getting involved in the trash talk a little bit. It was a close round, though. You've got to think about, all those kills going both ways. I think Academy, they had the opportunity there to take an earlier lead and push forward a little bit, but Obey, they come through strong in the end. They get themselves bit of an advantage here. Loadout's going to be the options here, and this is not a surprise. District, you see this quite often. They go with that loadout option early on. Just gives you more, a bit more agency to push down that mid route and get full control of the middle shaft of the map. And that, for me, is a very important kind of thing to get hold of, because as soon as you get that, you can quite easily force bandstand pushes. You can quite easily force, pushes across through the cinema, and you've got very, very quick rotations into the side rooms as well.
Well, on board with Breaker as we're looking down that very area. Nice little flash off the back, but he'll get angled out from Arch. No Obey player there just yet. TJ, of course, a little bit late to the party, and he will try and fly to get some numbers back against Slaps, but he will quickly fall. So Academy do start off very strong. So, yeah, Ashens will fall as well. And it's this time Academy who are going for that original strategy of pushing the home hill and placing more numbers down bottom. Saki's trying to go for the B hit take and push against the numbers to prevent a triple cap coming on through. Breaker on his own, perhaps going to pause for a little bit longer, but he will have a revive chain coming on through as Chidwick finds two. Nice job from him. Domination will finalize this round, and yet again, Alex, Academy do the same as Obey, but simply do it better.
That's it, isn't it? That's it. They do it better. And that was pretty much the story of that opening fight on Icebound. And this time around, tying it back up here, Toby, 1-1. Looking good again. Academy, I mean, who'd have thought it coming in? Not taking too much away from them. They had a very tough first game, all things considered. One of the the tougher teams that they could have come up against, minus maybe Rowdy and Team Sick. They get that nice, easy run though through those Pro League teams. You got to think, if you're looking at all of those four teams you could have matched up against, Obey would be the one that anyone would have wanted, right? That's the one that the potential upset was gonna happen in, I think. Yeah. So fair play to Academy. They've been given this opportunity, and they're rising to it. They're taking that chance.
Oh, absolutely. And I think back to that discussion about the major being in a bedroom and your usual PlayStation, if you will, than say that LAN event. A lot of these newer players might be better suited to such an environment and benefit from that, rather than the pro teams who might be much more experienced in a LAN environment. But here we go. Obey trying to go for that overextension down bottom. Of course, both teams opening up with more numbers in that area of the map. Nice lances from Academy down onto TJ as they pick up the kills left, right, and center. Ashens was trying to just hold his ground with the hard aims, but Academy, they are certainly getting the better of them here. Break trying to lance it down on the player. Saki winning his fight over a B, and for me, that's the ticket to get out of there. And Obey start to rotate actually over to the B hill and set up numbers there instead. Yep. And of course, they'll be playing for the setup at this point, but they have to be careful though. Through a number of times they've lost numbers in situations they really shouldn't have. And Academy, they need that one kill to open up this district. Typical traditional setup on this map.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? It's pretty much exactly what you'd expect from this one. Both teams holding out in their respective strong rooms here. The info on this side of things, the blue room that is. And Juice on the other side, the green, is a very, very strong position here. And you can see now, Reptix, he's absorbing some of that Lancer fire there from Ashens, throws that flashbang in as well, and the push comes through. But in the end, Obey a good defense here, as they do find those kills. So far, at least. They should be able to clean up Slaps here as well. This should be an easy one. Chid, on the other hand, pushing towards this A hill. Should get pincered in just a second. You can see that, stands up, knows he's dead for rights. Maybe should have started pushing a little bit forwards into that A hill and, try to find that 1v1 a little bit earlier, knowing his team had died, but very easy to say that with the hindsight, isn't it?
Absolutely. Hindsight is 2020, and Obey will have plenty of hindsight regarding Icebound, I'm sure of that, if nothing else, for that map. 20 seconds left, though, if things do stay the same. Obey playing very passive with their setups, sitting right back onto the bench to lance these players out. Breaker finding one down, make that two, as Slaps is trying to find any kill he possibly can at this point. Breaks do come on through, though, so they have time to Academy, as the clocks do stop ticking. But Obey are picking up downs, and they're starting to move in to finalize these kills. Slaps will be taken down by J-Rage, and Saki will pick up another. There should be a very simple Obey round as they start to gain the lead, potentially. 5 seconds, in fact, and that will be it. Good job from Obey. Honestly, it was a very uneasy start for them, I'll say. It was actually the same strat employed by both teams there through. Obey obviously trying to go for the overextension, but it wasn't very successful. They lost a lot of players in the process. Thankfully, Saki, much like his a previous match against Radar on Exhibit, was saving the day in his 1vs over on the less active part of the map.
Yes, yeah. I mean, Saki's, he's good at that across the board. He's one of those players that you can rely on him to almost always do the right thing. He's not the flashiest player. Like, we say a lot about, okay, Ashen has got a triple kill and has done very well, or TJ is doing great in that trading post. But Saki, for me, has been one of those players that has kind of under the radar been very, very good for Obey. And I think he and Ashen's, for me, have been the best 2 performing players across the whole of the quarter. Maybe we don't give him his due, to be honest with you, but it's one of those, isn't it? He's got to be getting in those situations to make those plays, to take those 1v1s. And if your team believes in you, you look at, I'd say Crimson's potentially on Elevate as being such a strong home hill side player. Once your team believes in you, you can really start to make a huge impact. Problem is right now, his team falling down. J-Rage, first out here, will leave his team in a 4v5 situation for a few moments. Good flank coming in here. Breaker's going to fall. Academy looking strong now as they make this push towards this A hill side of things, just reclaiming their home hill. After they do that, they'll start to make a push through, maybe towards this B hill, because they've got full control up there. They should have a 2v1 situation, taking this one pretty easy against Ashens, and now Saki, he's that cinema side player, will be in a bad situation, needs to find his way out of here, but he needs his team to help extract him. I don't think he's really got much here. You can see Breaker coming in for the revive, but what he really needed was that flashbang earlier, or a bit of Lancer fire coming in. Academy now with full control. Should be able to get this fight won here. They are getting pushed back here. They're at a numbers disadvantage, so the question is how do they make the play now? They will find Toby this pretty much basic setup. Well, we'll call it that, as they go back towards those juice rooms. But the rotation is coming in from Academy. You can see that player now pushing through the A-hill on that minimap. They're trying to overload down at the bandstand area.
Slaps literally sitting underneath the window of Obey. He has to be very careful he doesn't get angled out from the other side of the map. In fact, he's going to go for the angle himself. Does force Saki off that cover for now. But Slaps is going to be very close for the shotgun. He could literally jump up at any moment, but it's a very risky push, isn't it, Fru? It's a high risk, high reward.
It is, especially when they know you're there.
Yes, and now they definitely know, as a second player in the form of Bruiser is stacked up on that window. Breaker looking for that push. In fact, it is given to him. He just strafes a little bit. Political, perhaps a mismantle there as he is getting pushed. Breaker caught with his pants down. His Lancer is literally in the face of Reptix as he closes the gap. Well played from him. And a head-to-head for Saki and Reptix here down bottom.
It's those little mistakes, my friend. That was one of them. Breaker gets that kill. Fantastic, nice kill in a 1v2 situation. And then walks around the corner with his Lancer out, knowing the player is rotating that way. That is a huge misplay. And in the end, Reptix come through, gets another kill on his teammate. It's little plays like this that Obey. They're going to lose rounds because of it. And they're going to lose maps because of it as well. Yep,
and it was advantage Obey at that point as well, Alex, wasn't it? And for Breaker to really be caught out so easily, it's not a good thing to see, it's safe to say, from a professional team. As right now, Academy can win off one hill. Reptix, important fight there as he takes down TJ, nicely done. Somehow Reptix has stayed alive a lot longer than perhaps he should have, as Obey are not able to pick up kills on him throughout this matchup. J-Rage will fall elsewhere. Ashen stuck on the fountain. A very difficult position to try and stay alive at, as the Swarm are going wide on him. The domination blinking for a second, and Academy don't even need that with such a huge score lead as Political picks up one. Shidwick another, and Bruiser will fall also, as the Swarm scoreline will rain on through. Nice little mantle to finish things off. And honestly, Reptix for me has been impressing me so much, Alex. He's had some amazing shotgun fights. Of course, he was the man that took out Breaker early on in that very noticeable mistake from him, having his Lancer out. And I think it really does show, actually, statistically, as Reptix has almost doubled the amount of kills of any other Obey player going into this first, or rather the second half.
Definitely so. Toby, a little bit of a score update. I'm actually going to clarify something I said earlier. I said that all of those Pro League teams had won. A little bit of an update here. Actually, 3X Rowdy, who we saw earlier, upset Regal Reserve. They're up 1-0. They won the first map 5-2. So we've got upsets on both sides of the bracket here. We've got Academy ahead against Obey Alliance and 3X Rowdy as well, giving it to Regal Reserve on the bottom side. Fantastic news for the Challenger scene. Not so good for the Pro League teams.
Wow. Okay, upset central so far on this first Saturday, or the Saturday of the Major. My goodness, I'm sure we'll catch up and keep up with that result as things develop here. Ashens, though, of course, we're in the second half in this matchup, and Ashens and TJ have done a much better job of handling the fights down bottom. As you can see, Saki is sat all the way back on his bench, meanwhile, on the home street. And it's very much a tale of two halves district for me, as the Arch fight becomes way more important in the second half. Let's see. Lovely push from Academy into green as they open up and find J-Rage. Bruisem will actually push up and try and take down Saki, but Saki says no. Again, that consistent shotgunner in him does allow Obey to hold on to a little bit more than they otherwise would be able to. Yep. Reptix does find Saki, though. He's not able to back out. Academy have done the damage. Now they're rotating for that central hill. Yeah,
you can see on that minimap. There is one player coming down through this home spawn side of things. Just get caught out in his team. I was about to say, Toby, they were wolfpacking through the mid. It looked like they were going to push forward, but they stopped. They didn't want to take the fight, and in the end, they left their teammate to die. And I think that might have been a little bit of a mistake here on the side of Academy. As now Obey Alliance, they do have bandstand control here. You can see they're going to push through. They should be able to get a kill, a cleanup maybe. They do get that down on Chidwick. It's not going to be cleaned up in the end. And Breaker does get his head taken off by Bruisem, but the down comes in there on Chidwick. Chidwick falls, Bruisem falls as well. And now a 3v4 situation for a few minutes here as Political trying to defend here against Obey Alliance. As Obey, they are going to take that neutral for their own. But on the other side of things, Toby, you got to look at this. Reptix, very aggressive play, finds that decap, and that's huge. That is huge.
He's trying to find J-Rage as well, catch him out in the middle. I think Reptix, will he bow out? No, he'll continue on his offensive down to the E-Hill. Does get the revive, and the chain will surely come on through as Ashens does come off spawn. Look at Chidwick here. Again, very aggressive through green. It's kind of the story of this round so far, is Academy are always sending numbers through there. Chidwick is going to get the break. Maybe a domination. In fact, 3 seconds on the clock. They need to break something now. Do Obey? Can they get there in time? No. And in fact, that push from Chidwick round the flank through green will result in a very shock domination there, Alex, in a round that was back and forth, neck and neck from the get-go.
Yeah, I know. And for Academy, though, 2 rounds away, Toby, from punching your way through to that semi-final spot. That's a fantastic position to be in, isn't it? I mean, if you think about it, Academy, they came in with those 2 tournament wins, those Sunday wins. They were a good tournament team. They know how to play in that kind of double, single elim type of bracket. They've been here before against tough teams. They've been here before against the likes of Breaker and his teams. This is not, this upset is not against the kind of runner things here. Academy, a fantastic team in their own right, and now just a couple of rounds away from sweeping this 2-0. And if you're Obey Alliance, you've got to step it up, haven't you? You've got to get back into this one. You've got to really, start to show a little bit of Pro League prowess, because we're not seeing much of it right now.
No, we are not. That we can confirm for you. As the incense picked up, Ashens as well. Breaker stuck in the middle, and Reptix is hungry through that center. He will get down, though, as Breaker does trade downs with the opposition. Ashens does save the day, finding one and getting the revive. So Obey clearly winning the initial here, and Academy forced to regroup all their forces and set up for a later push. But right now, Obey, they haven't lifted their foot off the throttle. In fact, they're trying to find the kills remaining in green. Bruisem will fall. Obey take control in the form of green, quickly bowing out and favoring the more passive setup elsewhere at Arch.
That's it, isn't it? Things just going to settle down a little bit here as Academy. They get their players back in position. You can see them filtering into that juice room and towards that bandstand as well. And I think they just need to start to figure out where our Obey line's sitting, aren't they? See the smoke going to go down there, and you can see the push going to come through here, but a good Lancer fire here from TJ Saki, and Ashens will cause havoc in the Academy camp here. As you can see, the red team falling down here. The Swarm team are going to go. That's a great kill by TJ as well. Only Bruisem has managed to find himself a kill. Slaps, he's off. He's gone. 500-meter dash. He is off to the hotel. Going to get taken out in the end. Yep, TJ's getting shot in the back. We'll go down for a second here, but the revive should come in, and 2v1 situation. Not be a great situation to be running into if you are Bruisem. And I think Academy, to be honest with you, Toby, they've pretty much forfeit this round with that push. They're starting to lose a lot of points here. They've got maybe one more attempt off spawn. I have to wait for Bruisem before they do that, though. You can see Political now pushing up through that cinema area. Breaker, he's got that good angle. And Obey, they've got a good setup here, a good defense.
Yeah, and that down is going to help out a lot. Chidwick taken down. Political, lovely up A into Saki with left-hand disadvantage on his side, but it doesn't matter. Ashens will follow up, though, as Political perhaps a little bit too quick trying to up A and chase down Ashens there. With his health so red, J-Rage will have a nice one being in slaps and give him the no-no and show him that he means business, not only in this round, but this whole match. So Bay do level things out at 3 apiece.
Yep.
As I'm curious now, Alex, in the second half, if weapon placements will change, as clearly both teams going for a similar approach for a number of rounds now. And I'm wondering, Incend, of course, on the hotel side of things, of the map, of course, that is where Academy will be at on the next spawn.
And then Shock
versus the Shock. And it's a bit of a contrast, right? One's a very aggressive placement, and one is a very passive one. And the question is, do you rotate your utility to the opposite side of the map? Or does the thing stay the same way? And I think, you know, having an Incend versus a Shot can change things up a little bit in terms of how you approach that bandstand fight.
Yeah.
But in terms of Reptix, he's pushing down the middle.
I'll be honest, I much prefer the Incend down at the bandstand, to be honest with you. I think that's the better position to have that in, as you can pick up those double kills quite easy when there's, you know, a revive coming in, and the downs, they're very easy to find as well. So I do prefer the Incend at the bottom side, but I don't think either matters. That's a great kill by Reptix, by the way. Positioning was perfect. Nasher angle, spot on. Knew the player was coming down. Finds the kill there, goes for the back A now. That was a bit of a missed shot, but in the end, he's still putting the pressure on here. His team are behind him as well. TJ does find the down, but it will get taken out in the end here as Chid comes to the savior, and now the rotation from Academy is fast as they find that middle route. They've lost both their home hills, though, and Obey making good plays on the cinema side of things here, Toby. Academy in a bit of a rough spot. They've got to find a way to take their home hill back. It's going to be a bit of a kind of brute force push, really, isn't it? They've used their utility. No one's really died here. Bruisem going to get taken out in the end. You've got to think, if you're Academy, maybe you know, you start to go the other way. You start to try and drag Obey Alliance across that cinema, across that map. There's only one player defending the D hill. I think that might be what they're trying to do here. You can see 6 and 8 making their way around it is Reptix. Chid as well in support. You have blue and green control, right? Do Academy, and they can work with that somehow, some way, depending on how they approach things. You see an Obey player actually flying to green to change things up and push against Reptix. I think J-Rage was actually the man to take him. But Obey, they've responded very well. You know, they've given up the enemy's home hill. They've rotated back to the center line after Academy tried to go for the overextension to their home hill. Yep.
And they've made great use of that. They've got control at bandstand, and TJ is there as well, and it's just completely flipped the map. Obey have kept this huge points lead. They just need to not make a mistake now and keep the setup. That's it, isn't it? It's about being secure here, not making those mistakes. You're right, Obey, they did read it well, but now they're in a bad situation here. Slaps and Bruisem pushing through. They find that meat shield. They're going to find the kill on TJ as well. J-Rage just have those incendiaries, though, and Breaker with that flashbang. Going to give himself a second here to push up through the mid. What a flank from Breaker here. Academy are going to be so confused in just a second as they see their home hill going from underneath them. He's going to be in a 2v1 situation as Breaker, but he's made the play that will possibly secure this one for his team as he's dragging so much attention back to the home hill. We've got to look now over at the D hill, though. This one is secure. It's not the longest of routes here for Academy to go through, but Obey, with those kills coming in, should have secured it here, should put themselves on this map point. As you can see, there's no real pressure here. Clap coming out from TJ. A little bit of swagger from the guy who has those 16 assists to his name. Doing a lot of work for his team. Yeah, I mean, I'm impressed with that round from Obey. That looked a lot more professional worthy, if you will, from that team. There was very quick rotations, and left, right, and center were they pushing across district there. They had a nice little home hill setup, held it for quite a long period of time, mind you. So shout out to them for that. But then when the time came to rotate and play it safe and put your eggs into the traditional setup of the center hill and the home hill, Obey did very, very well indeed.
So for me right now, I'd 100% be blocking out that insend. That drop shot placement for me is a misstep in my opinion. However, well, we'll see how it goes down. I honestly think that you should have just blocked out the insend and tried to get it back to 4 apiece here. Obey,
and
they place they pace their placement weapon. They basically waste one. They waste that timer, but it doesn't matter anyway. We're gonna fight for the drop shot. Breaker, gonna be that first one in. Flashbangs out. We can see TJ does get that down on Reptic, so this is advantage. Obey Alliance as the incense come flying in from J Rage. Saki falls on the other side of things, but Jay's got 2 now with a headshot. Again, slaps, and that drop shot will go the way of Breaker. Obey Alliance now in a very good spot. And Toby, that's why I would have blocked out that incense. So easy to pick up kills with it. And it's going to be back up in just a second, you know. It's on that 60-second timer now. They're going to have this drop shot. They're going to have full control of the map. They're going to have those incendiaries. So difficult. Chidwick going to get headshot here by Breaker with a fantastic drop shot. And Obey, although they do lose a member down at that E-hill, still have full control.
Yeah, deceptively difficult drop shot that is to make, to throw it through 2 windows and to get the headshot, and so perfectly accurate. Well done, Breaker. The second one, not as accurate, mind you, and Obey will be looking for that retake as soon as possible on the bandstand. Saki's the man to try and take down Reptix. A very difficult job with how well Reptix is playing. Of course, Breaker out of drop shot ammo now, and numbers against him. Academy have the points lead. TJ stuck in the corner. Can he get another one? In fact, he will not. Ashens picks up one elsewhere. Breaker and Reptix now have a showdown. Breaker trying to run, but he will get taken down as well. And E-hill clearly going the way of Academy now. And yeah, I mean, going back to that placement decision, it was an opportunity to get an advantage by blocking out that incend. But instead, things are kept very neutral, and you throw the drop shot on the other end of the map. And that's a round, of course, or that's a format, of course, Obey clearly like to play with and drop shot.
Yep.
On such a teamfight heavy map like District.
Insend's going to be wasted there a little bit. See them going down on that corner, but Obey making a very, very strong, aggressive push here across the cinema side of things. Can't move too far left just yet, but they are getting these downs, and this is good Lancer play here from Obey Alliance. They do find that kill on Political here. They're going to look for more as Slap's now running to Juice. This is the situation where, realistically, Academy, they should have realized that, should have tried to delay it with maybe 2 players and made the plays on the other 2 hills at the same time. Flip the map, you get 2 hills to your name. Obey Alliance don't get the kills that they need here. Saki will fall in the end, but you got to look at the points now, Toby. COG team will win in 50 seconds. This is a huge 1v1 over at the F-hill. Breaker going to come up clutch once again for his team. Will take it in the end. Obey Alliance, perhaps within reach here of their first map.
Looks like it. Drop shot picked up bottom left. J-Rage has it in hand. And with such a points lead and a setup, TJ catching out Slaps. Good job from him. Drop shot coming on through, and that will find Bruisem. Well played, Obey, as they are looking much stronger on this map now. This could be the round that finalizes things, as TJ is taken out down bottom. Meanwhile, though, as J-Rage does have 1 drop shot left, he's set up on his home hill. 10 seconds to go. J-Rage, look how comfortable he's trying to get here on the F-hill and sit back and defend this last bastion of hope. Only hill remaining. Drop shot thrown in, and 2 kills do come on through. 5 seconds to go, and this will go the way of Obey around as they level things up here in the matchup against Academy. Well played, Obey, of course. 3 rounds in a row to finish things off there, as they have an impressive map on District.
That they do. Ashen's their MVP. Looked very, very strong on that map, and I think, you know, Obey, they like that second half, don't they, on District? They came through 3 rounds in a row to clean that one up. In the end, Ashen's 10, 16, and 6, Toby. What a fantastic performance from him and Obey Alliance to lock in that first map. It was a 5-3, same as the first map. But you got to think Obey now, they have that momentum going into the third.
Yeah, I assume so. I mean, Asylum is quite a heavily played map, it's safe to say, and of course that's the 3rd map. And I think Obey have had lots of experience on it. You know, the amount of times that you guys have casted over on Asylum in Pro League is immense, right? And it's a very simple, predictable map, oftentimes placement wise. You have the shocks in the second half blocking up top bridge fight, and also incense. And we had some good incense placements and kills there on District. Not as many as we usually see, and I think that could be a big change going into Asylum and how important they are in dictating team fights. But I think the main storyline, right, is that Obey do actually, pull themselves up and they pull themselves together and get back to their true form, right? And Icebound was very disappointing. They really needed some good rounds to get them back into a place of momentum, and I think they got that now, as it was a very set of impressive rounds from the professional team.
Yes, yeah, I have to agree. I think that was a much better performance from them. I think District, it's a map that they've had mixed success on for sure, but when they've looked good in it, they have looked good in it, and they found the kills. The drop shot play was good in the end. I think that drop shot placement was a really bad idea for Academy. I honestly do. Obey, they've had a lot of experience fighting down in that cinema for big weapons, and they know how to play it, especially with those double incens on their side. It's such a difficult fight, isn't it? I mean, any team really, worth their salt, I don't think they'd have gone that way, to be honest with you. But that aside, I think in terms of, the web placements, it was very generic. I think, Academy seemed to play a lot better when the map was a little bit more hectic. You had those M-bars shooting down at you. You had the drop shot to fight for early on. And, the play was very focused, wasn't it? Whereas this time around, we had a very spread map. It was, small grenades, either corner, and teams could make plays anywhere. And that, for an amateur team, is a lot more difficult to kind of coordinate and work out than it is for a Pro League team who have got a lot of experience doing that. So I think there's a lot of things that Academy can learn from that matchup. But a 5-3 scoreline for them is not, it's not a bad scoreline. It's not like they got smashed, right? They had a lot of rounds that they could potentially have won in the rounds that Obey won. And the rounds they did win, they look strong as well. So I think this final map, we should be in for a good one. And I'd love to see it go to that round 9, Toby. I really would.
Oh, yeah, that would be amazing to see, wouldn't it? I think the main thing about this last map, Alex, is it's a test of composure for both teams. You have a number of new players, of course, on Academy Reunited side. It's their first major, safe to say, apart from, say, Chidwick, who hopefully is leading at the helm there and keeping his all of his players up top and aggressive in their mindsets. Because if they start questioning themselves and start doubting themselves, I think that is when issues could come through. And we called out Reptix a number of times in District and Icebound. He had some amazing shotgun fights. He looked very, very good. We called out a number of his players as being extremely well played, catching off even the likes of J Rage and Ashens at close range. And I just hope they keep that up, that momentum, and try and stay outside of their heads and just really focus on the game, and perhaps challenge every shotgun fight you really would normally. Don't double guess yourself. Likewise for Obey, of course, they're the professional team that has already lost a map that was their pick. It's one of their favorite maps in the cycle. They need to make sure they carry on this momentum from District, and also don't doubt themselves going into this last map, and just see themselves through with the experience that they sit on.
Yeah, I mean, Obey, when they're on fire, they're a good team. They're a very, very good team. We've seen it here in the Pro League. We've seen them go the distance against the top teams in the league. And we've also seen it, at the majors in Mexico. Once they got a win under their belt, a map under their belt, they were a different team. They really were. And they started to be, playing a lot more kind of aggressively. They were, playing very cohesively. And they do look good, but they've got to be in that winning mindset to do it. They've got to be, backing each other up and, they're hyping each other up as well. They're a team that does drive off that energy. Whether or not they're in that mindset right now, given everything that's going on in the Obey camp, who knows? I don't want to get too much into it. It's a major broadcast after all, and we don't want to be talking about team hearsays. But what we do know specifically is that it's not the best time in the Obey camp. So they will have that kind of mental battle going on in the background, as well as the in-game battles. So there is a lot to kind of think about for Obey, but much better for them. And realistically, they've got to come through and they've got to show up as a Pro League team here. That's the minimum, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's a very daunting minimum they have to meet, of course. As we discussed before the show even started, Obey is the professional team with the most problems due to a heavily underperforming season for them compared to prior. And I'm sure they'll be doubting themselves as a result. They've probably been doubting themselves this whole past quarter, Alex.
Yep.
And I just hope that they don't really consider that going into this major. All the Pro League has done for them is given them a more beneficial seed and a buy into the second round. But apart from that, it's anyone's game. It's level between the two teams. And I just hope Obey can keep composure in this one, because it's such a daunting task, an environment to be in. Even if you're in the comfort of your own home, it's still a major event. And historically, Obey has been this team that perhaps have had comparisons to Elevate in terms of they can be quite emotional, they can lose matches they really shouldn't, and their consistency is concerning at times. But we're obviously hoping that for Obey's sake that they can, really hold themselves together in this one against Academy Reunited, who from the very start of the day have had incredible performances as underdogs. And they're underdogs in this matchup. They won the first one with a 5-3 scoreline, and it was a close district. So honestly, Academy, they're in a very good position now going into this one.
Yeah, they're in a very, very good position. I think we got to look at the picks and bans in that last kind of phase of things as well. We have, Obey, they did come in and they did ban out that exhibit pick at the end there. They chose to go to Asylum. And for me, that says a lot. That says they are way more confident in their kind of isolated gunfights in the kind of pairs, because you kind of pair off, don't you, on Asylum? You have a couple up bridge, couple down on tracks, maybe one in the middle, that kind of thing. Whereas Exhibit is much more of a whole team fight. For me, at least, given the choice between those two, those two maps, as a kind of Pro League team, I would have expected them to go the other way around. Not knowing Obey's history, obviously, of preferring Asylum, I would have preferred a Pro League team to go down into Exhibit, because their team cohesion, they're shooting for each other across a group of 5 should be a lot better, or 4 should be a lot better than a challenger team coming into this. So that's kind of interesting to see that they're preferring to go down that route of smaller isolated fights for the time being. Obviously, I believe they'll build up on that bridge side, and we'll see bigger fights later down the line. But that tells me something, at least, that Obey are, they're wanting to find these 1v1 fights, and against the likes of Reptix and Slaps, who have been up to the challenge so far. That's going to be a dangerous situation, especially on that top bridge, because they don't half fly at you to the Academy players. I've played against them online. I've played against them in scrims as well, and they're fast, they're aggressive, they like to push across the bridge. They like to be in your face. And for Obey, who are a team that are not necessarily the quickest of teams, that's got to be kind of scary, to be honest with you.
Yeah, for sure. While we wait for map 3 to get going, let's have a look at this all-important bracket, Alex, because we've had a number of upsets already. Let's check it out. Of course, Elevate 2-0, no surprise there. We're in that Obey versus Academy game right now, 1-1. Radar, no shock for them. But as you can see, that all-important match in progress that we referred to in that map, it is at round 9, I'm just being told, actually, in map number 2, 3x Rowdy. Currently with the map lead, it comes down to that last one.
That's it, isn't it? I mean, it's all on the line for 3x, and they could quite easily come through and take that one 2-0. And who'd have thought it, man? Regal Reserve losing out 2-0, where Obey pushing to that final map. You'd have thought it had been the other way around, to be honest with you. But fair play to 3x. They have come to play, haven't they? And we talked about Academy having a bad bracket, to be honest with you. 3x, Team Sick, and then Regal, who have been on fire lately. That's a tough run, to be honest with you. And I think, I think they've done very, very well to be putting themselves on the line here. Jack Reaction, part of Regal Reserve, called 3x Rowdy out as the best team. Perhaps a little bit of future planning for him in case he lost to them, but even still, 3x performing so well now, and against his own team, they're putting them right to the wire. It could be a 2-0.
Can't wait to hear what comes of that round number 9, Alex. It's a very concerning scenario for Regal Reserve for sure, as we see Asylum actually loading up here, folks. Predictions-wise then, Alex, I'll throw it back to you. Who's taking this last map? Tell me.
I have to go with Academy. I want to see an upset. I was going to say Obey right until the words were about to come out of my mouth, and then I thought, you know what, actually, no. Academy, they showed up, they looked good. The Icebound was very, very well played from them. And I think Asylum's more similar to Icebound than it is District. So I'm going to go the Academy side of things.
All right. Okay, I'm going to go with a professional team. I'm going with Obey. I have confidence in them holding themselves together going into this last one. A very practiced map in Asylum that they can hold their nerves and perform to a better standard, shall we say. Consistency has been concerning, of course, perhaps the biggest concern for Obey going into today. But let's see if they can hold out and come out victorious. It has been upset central so far in this European major. Let's see how things pan out in map number 3 between Academy and Obey Alliance.
I think it's going to be a lot about these initials, Toby, about finding that opening kill here in the cave. Seems to be Academy's playground right now, as Political has full control of that so far. I think if you're Obey, that's wise. Give up the cave, play down the track side of things, make your plays later on when you can concoct something that's a little bit stronger. But right now, you can see the push coming through. Straight into cave, straight to the cut. It is going to be Reptix picking up 2 so far. He just gets taken out. Sorry, Political gets taken out in the end, but TJ now in a very, very bad spot. Not going to be able to jump that mid-jump at all. And Bruiser, with his teammates of Academy, to come through and secure that B hold. And that was a very, very good defense by them. They stopped the Obey push, and now looking for Saki. They should maybe get another kill here. They're going to back out. I think that might have been a wise play. They fluffed that first shot. Couldn't quite get the damage down, so back out, set up your defensive line again, and see where Obey Alliance push.
Daybreaker. He's waiting for his teammates to join him from behind as they go for that overextension. Nice opening kill on one, as another player will fall in the form of Chidwick. But a very good quick response from Academy as they've sent 3 players over to the Sea Hill. Obey double backing on themselves to try and support their teammates. Unfortunately for them, Academy were just a little bit too swift. And Breaker is now going to rotate all the way around back to that B Hill to try and go for that setup later on. Right now, though, Academy are trying to fight their way back to the home hill. They're going for the pinch. Saki's getting up close and personal. Does find Reptix. And Ashen gets stuck as well, as Saki does find another. I've just got a little bit of a score update for you as well, folks. Regal do win that last round, number 9. It is 1-1 now, as they go in their last map against 3x Rowdy. It wasn't as big of an upset, I guess, that second map, as they do get through to that final one.
So, isn't it? Good composure there by Regal Reserve, it seems, as they take that one and punch that map 3. Same as Obey Alliance here, but Obey on this third map getting slayed out here as Reptix and Chidwick, they start to open up. Reptix has another one to his name, and now a third perhaps as he starts to make the moves here as he's going around this central cover. He will get taken out by the experience of TJ, but Bruisem now off spawn once again. Has to fight TJ. TJ defending this hill with his life, just trying to put so much pressure on. As you can see, the COG team, they're trying to win here. They have got that A control once again. They've got B. They're going to give it up for a second. They're going to put all of their players into the defense here of the home hill. 6 seconds on the board, Toby, for this opening round, and it looks to be Academy. Looks to be the challenger teams doing quite enough here to take the first one. 3 minutes, though, a long round, and Obey, they pressured them all the way from start to finish. A good opener here for Academy, and you know, 1 on the board, 4 more to go. That's all they got to be thinking, 1 round at a time for Academy here as they try and make this upset a reality.
Yeah. And speaking of openers, Alex, it was Academy that went for the proactive approach of getting up close and personal on the tracks, get that capture very quickly, and then set up. It was Obey who tried to play for the retake from the get-go, and it didn't pay off for them. Very similar to the Icebound scenarios of both teams going back and forth, literally trading the trading post possession off the rip. But something tells me that being proactive and getting in there first will be a big advantage going on previous team fights. As you can see, Obey actually do switch around. They go a little bit more aggressive now on this start, as TJ tries to open things up with the kill. Political flies in from nowhere, finding one. Ashen's answering back, but Academy's shotguns are a little bit too strong now as J-Rage once again falls. No, Academy, they're running for this A-hill.
That they are. They'll feed all blue, wasn't it? Slap's doing his best here. Reptix now pushing forward. If you're Obey, you've got a few lives to use here yet. You're going to waste them here as TJ is going to fall here once again. Another good kill coming in. And this, for Academy, is strong. They're stepping back out when they know they've got another free kill coming in. And this time around, they are going to lock it in. They are going to lock in that second round here. A 50-second round, a very, very quick one.
This is excellent.
Academy now. Yeah,
honestly,
it's fantastic, isn't it?
It's really great to see, because Academy, they are this a major underdog going into this tournament. It wasn't a highly ranked team out of the amateur teams entering this by any stretch. But here they are, looking incredibly strong, both individually and as a team. Their strategies are on point. Their opening initials are aggressive. They're very sure-footed in their plays. And they comfortably won that fight on train tracks. And now I'm getting worried for Obey Alliance, Alex, because those 2 rounds were very convincing for me.
Yep.
And weapon placements are mirrored once again as incens are thrown into the mix. And this could be huge, honestly, for this opening fight. That cut through the middle, you can just simply throw an incend straight at your opponents over there. And in fact, Reptix will open things up on Ashens, and it's that very cover that can prove very difficult to sit on for long, as Political does get taken out by TJ as he answers back with an incend of his own. So
difficult, and I like that actually from Academy. Finding the aggressive placement here to sit up all the way forward. They probably will pay for it here as they get taken out in that middle ring, but the trade maybe comes through here. TJ, very, very red, gets taken out by Ashens. Ashens with a bit of a wild shot there out of nowhere. Just go down. Revive going to come through here. Revive train going to come through here, as well as the actual train, which cuts off the ring. We'll give Ashens a few seconds to reset here. So he's going to back off, but finds himself as that train departs in a 3v1 situation here. His team off spawn will come and help out, and you can see J-Rage getting that down on Bruiser again. Bruiser on his last life will get taken out, though. Where is the body block, Chid? You need to be getting in front of him, making sure he's not going to die out so quickly. In the end, they're going to get control of this B Hill Obey Alliance, but look at the points now, Toby. 40 points behind here. Academy have had a very, very good initial to this round.
Can Ashens get out, though? That's the question. J-Rage does come through with a revive. Academy trying to find any kills they can. Train tracks coming, or train tracks lit up, rather, as J-Rage does get all the way back in time. Bruiser and Political ready to go. But TJ in that cut to the left. A very important position, of course. You can angle most of train tracks from that very safe position. Political and Chidwick trying to go wide right on the train tracks. Political will get downed. Bruisem trying to go for the revive chain. It should be a very quick 3v2 if they can get up there close and personal. But TJ is going to be the casualty in this scenario for Obey, as Bruisem does back off. They need to find these final kills, though. They're not able to do just that, as Obey do have reinforcements. Political full red. Will Obey step on the throats of their enemies? Yes, they're trying to do just that. Political somehow managed to stay alive this long, though.
That's it, isn't it? And they're doing pretty well. They're doing pretty well. Obey will get control of that B Hill in the end. And Academy, I think, making the right decision here. Look at the rotation on that mini-map. 2 through mid, 3 across that bridge. They will be able to take control of C Hill. Slap's got to stay alive just for a few seconds while his team filter in here, and the down comes through. Political finding that one. We'll take that meat shield. Defense has got to come through here now for Academy. They've got a good setup here. That meat shield helping out. A good touch comes in for Obey, and they stop that capture for the time being, but the Incender's well placed on that doorway. Will stop anyone pushing in that way, so they've only got to defend one doorway at the moment, do Academy, but you can see now, perhaps there. Academy looking now for a third round, as they've taken a good chunk of points, haven't they, from Obey Alliance here. Good defense here coming in from Breaker and Ashens. The double cap, the triple cap coming in out of nowhere for Obey Alliance. You got to think, Academy, they had that. They were just a few seconds away, Toby. One more rotation. One more person just disappearing to another ring would have secured that for Academy, but Obey, their experience shines through. They win the fight. They're already on the A Hill. Looking that triple cap, and what could have been a very, very good lead for Academy is now just a little bit closer. As Obey, they're starting to claw their way back here. Flashbangs getting placed down, and kind of shades of districts here with these weapon placements.
Yep. That's for certain. As I think that's a very important round, clearly, for Obey. A 3-0 down would be a very scary scoreline for them, but they did hold their composure in the end, Alex, and very impressed that they did, in fact, because it was a difficult scenario at the train tracks. They were getting pushed on your home hill, and they won on all fronts in the end. In different groups and as individuals. As A and C Hill, of course, is captured off the rip. No one going for the B Hill this time. A contrast from previous rounds, as both teams have elected to play passive and neither going for that B Hill capture. But Political has map control. He has that angle from the cut. Flashes are thrown into the mix. TJ still has his end inside to play with, but nothing's going to connect this time. And with Saki down and quickly revived, the B Hill capture does come through for Bruisem and Reptix. And actually a push might be on the card soon for Obey on Home Street. I say that, though. Reinforcements are here already.
That's it, isn't it? TJ finding those 2 downs. We'll be in a good situation here. Ashens as well, finding 2 as well, hiding around that corner. And now Academy in a very, very bad situation. Obey, they've laid the trap. Academy, they've walked straight into it. The domination ticking up. Should come in just a couple of seconds. I don't think there's anyone able to break a ring here for Academy. Obey Alliance, they're going to tie it up 2 for 2. And you got to think, Obey, they found something, haven't they? They found a second wind. They played that very, very well.
Yeah, and you've got to give it to Ashens there in the center. I typically speak to Hydra on this very map down the pavilion on the overhead there as being one of the more proactive players and making use of that 1v scenario through pavilion. Always a headache for the opposition, always flanking, always shooting, always doing something. And he was actually the player that would be the player to take down Political down in the cut area. But instead, he was playing through the middle, played for the flank instead, and proved a lot more beneficial, perhaps, than Political to the respective teams in that latter half of the round. Good job from Ashens for me there, as we go 2-2 in the second half. Of course, the hills E, F, and D are now upon us. And look at the overhead. Cast your eyes to the top right, folks at home. It's a 3v3 up top with one player just behind in the form of Chidwick over at that E-hill, as we are a complete deadlock here. Flashbangs in hand, ready to go.
Here comes the push. See those flashbangs going down. Chid holding that middle ground as his team are going to push up here. They should be able to get control here. A bit of a wayward incendiary. Won't be much use there as Reptic's trying to step in here. He's getting shot from his left-hand side, though, and he's going to go down in the end. I don't think they realized that Saki had full control of that mid route, just completely uncontested. And now, what should have been a good situation for Academy. Looking pretty rough here, Bruisem. Gonna get pushed from the left-hand side in just a second. See here, there comes the push from Ashens. No Nasher to answer there. Revive should be a kill coming in, but Bruisem just does not respond. There is no shots from that Nasher. Will get taken out in the end. Gotta think now, Academy. Bad situation here. We'll try and force Obey back up to the bridge, and off spawn they come. The rotations through. Pretty good so far.
Here we go, though. Flashbang thrown into that corner as Obey trying to get back without losing a man. No one was down in that process, but they do give up the hill for now. Breaker will be quickly revived, and Academy with the quick capture. And Slap showing the utmost respect for his opposition. He'll give up the right-hand advantage there on the doorway. Of course, Breaker, the place he currently sits, can angle out that doorway very easily. And so Academy, they want to play it as safe as possible. I'll give any opportunity for Obey to get back into this. Breaker now trying to take that angle from the doorway, but one player is lost in the form of TJ. Raptix will get down in the process, and Slap's just looking for that push. Revive comes on through. And really, Raptix needs to fall. It's going to be a continued 1v1 between Raptix and Breaker, and the question is, which team is going to provide the most support? Instant throw into the mix. Nothing's going to connect, though, on either side. But Academy do have advantage in the downs department. It's down to Breaker to hold off, though, any opponents that approach that doorway as the incense do disappear.
Yep, yeah. Breaker definitely doing a good job here as he's defending so much, and a good shot grenade placement will not allow Reptix to go back. It will be Obey Alliance in the advantage here, but where's that flank come from? Seems they called it out because both players turned at the same time, but that gives Academy a few seconds here to push forward. The scoreboard still pretty even here as Obey Alliance are going to eliminate Academy in just a second. They will lock in the third, but it was going back and forth pretty much to the wire, and that could have gone either way. Those last 2 kills, so crucial for Obey to lock that one in.
Yep, good shotgun fights across the board from Obey there. I'm pretty sure they had an important shotgun battle down bottom somewhere off camera as well that you can bank on Obey. Usually Saki is the man to win in that area, but I think it was someone else there in the end. Good job from Obey. That was a good round. A very difficult push to make, is it, up top. Yep. Both teams really doing a good job of breaking and quickly capturing the hills after losing them, but questionable incense from both teams. Perhaps an area both rosters here can improve in. And a very good shock that settled things at the end too. Now, going into this next round, all utility will be picked up immediately. Bruisem will be the first man near the E-hill for Academy, but they're not going to go for it. They're going to try and Lancer out their opposition here, Academy. Shot grenade thrown in, catches out TJ. The Lancer's fire is strong. Well done, Bruisem. Taking down TJ before that revive chain does come on through. Reptix trying to push up now. Instead, not going to connect, although that one will. Breaker, excellent incend onto Reptix. And that will stop Academy dead in their tracks. Of course, Obey still need to break this hill, though.
I like that play by Academy. Reptix baiting the slide into the cover there. You know, as he does that, he's expecting the player to back off, and as that back off comes in, you saw the incendiary come over the top. It didn't quite connect, but the play, the idea was there. It was well crafted. I do like that there. You can see Slaps now aiming for that leg of Breaker. Reptix will down Bruisem's, but the revive shall come back in as he's just retreating a little bit here. Obey definitely having the best of these uphill fights. They seem to have a little bit more coordination, don't they, around this bridge side of things. They're not downing each other as much. But you gotta remember, Toby, there is another side to this map. Currently, Academy, they are fighting in a 3v4 situation up top here. Bruisem trying to get a kill here, just find the down. He's just delaying timeout. As Obey, they lost their home hill during all of that.
I like it though, Alex. I love the revive chains from Obey. They're using that right-hand advantage. They're keeping their distance from Academy and leveraging their numbers to push on and get these kills. Meanwhile, oh no! Meanwhile, an incend goes to the wrong opponent. Unfortunately, it finds TJ. Somehow, TJ does bounce in front. The domination will be stopped there. And it was looking good, the incend, but unfortunately, TJ's movement works against him there unknowingly.
It does, doesn't it? Oh dear, that's tragedy, isn't it, if you're Obey? A second or two away from getting that domination, a second or two away from being 4-2 up now. And it's back to even Stevens. As Academy, they're trying to fight for this bridge control. Once again, they should be able to get the decap here, but they're going to be careful of those incendiaries. Reptix trying to find the kill here. Will miss 2 shots, and that's going to pay. As Obey come through, incendiary down. Chidwick having to back off now. Chid and his team, they're doing so much, aren't they, to try and fight for this E-hill, but Obey, they just seem to have the better of it. Those incendiaries have been better for Obey Alliance up on top bridge specifically. It makes it so difficult as well. When Reptix, given 2 shots, doesn't find that kill over the cover.
Yep, they need a break. And also, triple cap at this point, do Academy. They have managed to capture E-hill, though, as Obey look to be really turtling back up on the D-hill, playing all in for this one hill. Reptix does go wide of that corner. Well played not to get Secret Man there. 14 seconds on the clock, incend in hand, and oh no, an overextension coming through from J Rage, and he should be able to get a simple break on that hill at least. Look at this though, the D-hill is broken for now from Academy. They were able to get through, but the shot grenade did find the downs necessary for Obey to get back their home hill. Domination coming on through, make that an elimination as Obey finish off that round in style. 4-2 now the score. And despite that haphazard incend that essentially kept Academy in that round, Alex, Obey did hold their nerve despite that unfortunate event, hold off long enough on the center hill, and then were able to use a very well-placed shot grenade to see the round out there.
I think if you're talking of nerves, though, you've got to look at the other side. Their Academy, they had time to play with. They had more time than they thought they did, and that's something that Elevate, as an example, do very, very well. Play to that last second. If they'd have just taken a couple more seconds, you know, not allowed that member of Obey to kind of sneak through the tracks. Even though Reptix knew he was there, he was just too aggressive on that home hill. His teammates as well, both of them walking into the shot grenade. You don't need to do that. Let one go down, the other holds, you know, the edge of it and just gets the revive, brings him back up into the action. All of that basically means that Obey, they can come through and they can fight now here for the series point. Reptix gets one, the knife will come through. The drop shot should go the way here of Obey. A good dodge by TJ as now he's pushing the pressure here on Bruisem. Great shot by him, and he's just gone clutch mode when it matters. Drop shot will now go his way as well. Slaps in a bad situation here. I'm surprised the drop shot hasn't come through. It's going to get rotated round rather than going for that sneaky, you know, shot up through the rafters. And there it is. That's what you want. TJ finds the kill on Slaps, Toby. And this is the opening that they need here as Academy. They're starting to fall. They're starting to crumble. Obey Alliance, that Pro League pressure is coming into play here. The E-hill will go their way. Another drop shot goes out. Does it connect? It does indeed. Chidwick will fall. Bruisem finds one though, and Bruisem now looking for another, returns that knife. TJ still alive. Does get taken out in the end at Academy. Despite the drop shot, despite the opening kills by TJ, will find themselves with that E-hill in the end. And only 10 points behind, Toby. That's something to be stated there. They're not out of this yet.
Yes, honestly, good job from Academy cutting their losses, if anything. and then sending just enough numbers over at the E-Hill to counteract that drop shot advantage that Obey had in their hands. And now, with that gone, Obey will have to be playing retake game here at the E-Hill. You can see Academy's players through the X-ray vision that they're very aware of what's going down on the train tracks as they aim their lancers that way. Ineffective incend, mind you. It was in front of the cover. Breaker was forced to move in the end, but a little bit further and it could have been a kill that. J-Rage quickly reviving. Shot grenade thrown, and that's Bruisem trapped at the very least. He's able to get out in time. Well played, Bruisem. Well-timed roll indeed, but all utility expended. J-Rage is going to try and hold that angle now.
Well, they are. So Ashen's going to go falling down here. The revive's going to come in from Breaker now. And Insect going to come out. Is that a double kill? No! He fluffs it. It goes over the top. Academy, they will dodge it for the second. They're getting flanked, yeah, but the problem is that Incendiary on the other side is going to make it so difficult for Academy to push forward and act upon that. You see, they're going to try, but they've only just been allowed to take that cover back again. With J-Rage down now, TJ's going to push forward. There should be a kill here for Slaps. Slaps gets another down here, and the rest of Academy should come in. The Incendiary is poor from both sides, and these teams, I think they need to start playing with different weapons. They are not having much luck with these Incendiaries, Toby. Not very accurate with them whatsoever. What was that? Was that drop shot coming in?
I think it might have been. Yeah, Saki. Saki has drop shot, as you can see bottom right. He's rotated it round. Now he really needs to use this and the incend. Neither are going to find a kill, but Shidwick will roll into his death, and J-Rage finding that one. But Slaps and Lancers will be very strong and accurate. 10 seconds left, just under, in fact, as the Cog should see this round out. Nothing's going to be broken in time, and Academy are very much still in this.
This is, this is shaky leg time, really, isn't it, for Obey Alliance? Right on the precipice here of punching your way through to that top 6. Maybe a game against Rated R coming up for them, but they've got to get one more round. Academy now from 4-2, trying to make that comeback. We've seen Obey fall to a comeback before in that Gridiron tournament. Although that was maps rather than rounds, they did lose to Team Sick after being 2-0 up. They fell 3-2. Academy trying to recreate that pressure now as they go maybe fight for this drop shot once again. We see the shot grenades down to 60 seconds. What's going to be placed, though, for Obey? They've got that extra pick. Looks like they're going to use that disable, and that, for me, is a good idea. That is the kill pressure. That is, it's not picked up many double kills, many single kills, but the pressure it puts on the map, the respect that you have to give to it, especially up on that top bridge, is huge. Disabling that gives Obey a lot of room to play here.
Yeah, very smart approach employed with that disable, aptly timed. And they have, of course, an extra incend over their opponents now in that fight, as both teams do play for the retake here in the E-Hill, rather than the all-in aggressive approach, trying to take doorway and the enemy's cover. Down bottom, though. It's all about the drop shot, of course. Reptix finds Ashens, and Political does get taken out as well. And in fact, Reptix is pinball bouncing his way to glory, actually, in the midpoint of this map. TJ should be taken out now if Academy do just regroup and play for this kill. No, TJ will back out. And the focus instead will be placed on the E-Hill with drop shots out of the mix, actually, I think. As Reptix has it. No, he does have it, actually. Is thrown over to the E-Hill now.
Yep, and this should be a very, very easy kill here. Drop shot coming in on Breaker. Well placed.
Better. Yes.
It's better. I would have liked to have seen it placed a little bit further back. If you place it between, the entranceway, and, heading slightly over towards that left-hand side there, towards the low covers, you can sometimes force the other player to jump into it as well. We'll get the uses out of it, though. I think maybe a little bit premature, as we'll leave him in a 1v1 situation. They are going to get this E-Hill as their reward, though. And 50 points up now in this 8th round is a good position to be in, but you've used your drop shots. You've lost control of mid. Now you're going to lose Bruisem there as well. For Academy, have you got enough out of that drop shot? I'm not too sure.
Yeah, I mean, they could essentially have used the numbers, I think, to taking down that same player instead of utilizing their drop shot. But in terms of right now, flashes do come through, and Incend and Shock aren't really effective here. But Chidwick on that flank does pick up one kill. We're watching that flank rather. TJ actually getting taken down as well. E-Hill now starting to be capped up by Academy once again, and the points lead is starting to creep their way as we approach perhaps the closing moments of the round.
Yep, I think the one player on tracks here, I think it's Political right down there. He's got to be careful here because you can see 3 members of Obey they're starting to think about going trackside. They're going to make a push here through mid, and I think they're going to start to make this flank over and try and play for home here. We are going to take a quick intermission, though, as we bring you a score update, Toby. 4-1 to 3x Rowdy in that
the final
game. Yep, so that's a fantastic upset for 3x Rowdy if they can pull this one through. Back on this side of things, though, TJ trying to make that play. The shot grenade comes out, and that is a strong shot grenade there. It doesn't allow TJ anywhere near the ring, and Chid finds that down on Saki. Drop shot going to come out by J-Rage. Will kill Reptix here, and Chid now in a bit of a bad situation. Has to back off here. Running back off. Drop shot going to come back out perhaps. Chid going to get taken out. No, dodges it. That's huge. Bruisem finds 2 on the other side of things. Academy force the round 9, Toby. We're going to go right to the wire. I said I wanted it. I'm getting it. It's my first cast of the day, and we're going for the round 9, map 3. This is what it all comes down to. 1 round between 2 teams, 2 very, very evenly matched teams here. 1 Pro League, 1 Challenger. There's going to be 1 winner out of these 2 teams over this next 1 round. I can't wait to see what they do with this. The disable has been used on the side of Obey. And with that, before we get into this round 9, I'm going to bring you the news that Regal Reserve have lost that round, that 5th round on the other side of things. And they're going to go down in that losers bracket early on. That's going to shake things up down there, that's for sure.
Oh my, Alex, that is a shock for anyone in European Gears esports. It has been upset central here so far, and it could be another one right in front of us as Obey are trying to fight for their winners bracket placement against Academy. Political immediately taken down. J-Rage will clean things up as Bruisem picks up an incend kill elsewhere, but J-Rage, he's performing very, very well down bottom there. And that drop shot is still ready to be picked up. J-Rage picking up Reptix, and Bruiser make that as well, as his reward is that drop shot itself. Can they rotate it up top now, or are they going to potentially go for a triple cap off the rip? It is the former, and they'll try and set up here and use those numbers. And I think the important factor here, Alex, instead of using that drop shot prematurely, is make sure you have, first of all, an active drop shot before you fire it, because it's so effective in this game. And secondly, wait for a cluster of players to go for a very push like this. Not going to come on through, though, but he does have an active on the second shot. He needs to use it effectively.
Rage got so lucky that Chidwick got down by his own team member. That's a good drop shot going to come out here. Takes out Slap. Slap's been a key member of Academy in these fights up top. That's big for Obey Alliance. That 60-second shot grenade coming back up right about now. You can see Chid picking it up for his team. TJ on the other side will have that in the back pocket, but drop shots used now, Toby. Back to even strength here as now the push is going to come through. What will the response be, though? Because the shot grenade is going to come out on one side. Will it go back into the middle? It will indeed. 2 downs for Obey Alliance. This is what they need as they go 30 points up. An incend over the top. We'll give them a second. It finds Breaker. The revive should come in now because of that. A good double revive on both sides of things will come through for the team of Academy. They're so red, Toby. I can't stress that enough. But they will come out. They will have the offense successful. They will get that E-Hill as a reward, and they will get the kill on Ashens as well. Obey, are they crumbling under the pressure here?
Absolutely amazing retake from Academy here. They even got the capture out of it, but here come Obey striking back hard. As 2 players are stuck in that doorway, they need to get this down on Reptix. J-Rage goes down. Academy trying to retake things as they go for that back A. They're not going to find that opening shot, but Reptix is going to get taken out quickly by J-Rage. It is literally anyone's game right now at the E-Hill. Obey finally taking back E-Control, capping it up as they use that numbers advantage.
That's it. Third set of shot grenades coming into the map now. It's shot gonna go down here. Obey Alliance forced back off. They will reply with theirs.
It's back
you
and
get the kill on Bruisem, and there is a member of Academy trapped there. But the drop shot does go the way of Slaps and Slaps. They have timed that so perfectly, have Academy, to get this drop shot out, and this might be enough.
Here we
drop
go.
shot's going to come through. Is that perfect? Yes, it is. Ashens is going to fall there to Slaps, and now Slaps rotating that drop shot with one more. We'll get the kill on TJ here. No, it's just the damage, but Political, he gets the meat shield down, and you can see Slaps and Political clutching up on one side of things. On the other side of things, Chid defending that E-Hill with his life. Obey now on the back foot. The COG team will win in 20 seconds. It's going right down to the wire here, Toby. 16 seconds now, the scoreline. Bruisem finds the down. Chid's going to back up here a little bit. Can they find the break?
They can win off one hill. Can Obey right now Hill's
Yes.
being capped up. 5 seconds to go. They need a break to Academy right now on either side. 2 seconds to go. It will come on through as Obey do win out by the skin of their teeth. 5-4 the final score, Alex. As I try and catch my breath, oh my. What a fantastic game. And of course, J-Rage is your MVP, winning a majority of shotgun fights there in the middle. But wow, what a game that was in the end, as Obey just about hold on in those closing moments, Alex. Wow.
My heart, man.
My heart as well.
Obey. What a play at the end there. We say, oh, most teams don't play right to the last second. Obey timed that perfectly. They were against the ropes. They were down and out, and they come back, and they somehow clutch it up with just a second to go. You're right. It was the break just before the second, that ticked over basically towards the cog side. And that was so perfectly timed. I don't know how Obey have done that. They've done so well to win that one through. And, well, here's how it breaks down, Toby, isn't it? 5-3, 5-3, 5-4. What a series.
What a close one. And I'm sure Obey will be very happy that they won in the end there, because they were probably kicking themselves after that first map. Of course, Icebound is a strong pick for them, a pick for this one. But 5-3, 5-3, and then it was uncomfortably close, wasn't it, Alex? I was at the edge of my seat. I'm sure you were too. And some amazing plays, mind you, by Academy. Some very good retakes up on that E-Hill in that last round. But Obey, they managed to survive the onslaught that was Academy, and I'm sure we'll be keeping a very close eye on that roster in the losers bracket. Let's I think just in a second we'll take another look at that bracket, and I can't wait to see that. As we know, Regal did lose to Rowdy's team, or 3X Rowdy, I should say. Of course, that's the team name. There it is, 2-1. 3X Rowdy taking down Regal. The only Pro League team to lose in this one was Regal, and this is one of the stronger teams, definitely in the European Pro League. We thought Obey might have been the team to lose, especially after that first map on Icebound, Alex. But instead, it's Regal that gets sent down to the losers bracket, and 3X Rowdy to continue with their upsets for today.
Yeah, and Regal, in that loser side of things, they match up against Team Steady, and that's going to be a very difficult game for them as well. I think keeping up with the winners bracket here, though, Rated R Obey Alliance, that's going to be, for me at least, a pretty easy, quick game for Rated R. But the bottom side, Elevate versus 3X Rowdy, they have got a team that they probably didn't expect to come through that bottom side of the bracket, up against them next, and they've got to be worrisome here, because Regal, we've seen them take Elevate to the wire before. If Rowdy are beating them that well, and it was 5-2 or something in that final game, that's a strong scoreline for them, and that is going to be a fantastic game too. I think for Obey though, that was a difficult one. We can show the losers as well, Toby. So let's have a look at that one as well, as we can see how the bottom side is matching up here. The 8 teams, four of them with their lives on the line here. Team Sick against Academy, the last Italian grid. What's your favorite matchup?
Yeah, I love that actually. Academy reunited and Team Sick. I'm wondering if Team Sick can pull themselves back into this and go against a formidable Academy reunited. It could be potentially a more difficult game than their first matchup. And I'm wondering, can they really hold on and get back into this matchup? And of course, Regal versus Steady. I mean, Regal, I'm not sure if it was underperformance from them. Of course, we weren't casting over that one. Of course, a very good performance, it's safe to say, from 3X Rowdy. But Steady, they did come out and they didn't lose a map previously in their first round of play. So you would have to give it to Regal Reserve on that note as well. Not only the fact that they're a very good Pro League team, but I'm worried for Regal after that result. I'm wondering how they can do.
I'd worry too as well. I don't think anyone would have predicted, to be honest. We thought they were up there with the Rated Rs and the Elevates, right? And actually, we've not talked too much about those two teams. Let's cover that one shortly before we go to a break. But they looked pretty strong in the Pro League, didn't they? They looked very, very good. And to lose now against the challenger team in 3X Rowdy, that's a difficult one. But yeah, as I said, Rated R, Elevate, Toby. These are two teams we didn't really talk much about on the bracket, but it looks to be business as usual for those two, as they both punched 2-0s into that semi-final.
Yeah, exactly. I think they're going to have a smooth ride potentially now all the way to the winners bracket final. And of course, the next game we'll be watching on stream is Regal versus Steady. So folks, hope you enjoyed that last match as much as we did. don't leave Upset City. Stay tuned in, stay locked into the broadcast. We'll be back very soon after this short break.